It's my privilege to welcome today's session speaker, Mr. Mukund. He's a corporate trainer and all the participants for this AICT sponsored short-term training invitation, sir. So about sir, sir has over 15 years of experience in delivering training and development in personality development, time management, life skills, business communication, leadership, negotiation skills, business etiquette, and other soft skills. Sir has given many training to corporate and colleges, creating and delivering training program, then conceiving unique and training events, scheduling training calendar, identifying the right trainers, and it goes on. Sir is expertise in arranging train the trainer session, proficient in formulating cost effective in monthly training budget, and sir is also a certified NLP practitioner. Sir has completed his psychological counseling and guidance course and also a certified EFT program, EFT practitioner too. It's a pleasure to have you on this forum, sir. Now I would like to hand over the session to you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Kavita.
Thank you.
So, good morning, friends. Good morning, learned professors, learned faculty members, and friends. Good morning. It is a real pleasure meeting you all because now I love talking to the learned people. It has been a real privilege to be a part of this initiative, and especially talking on one beautiful subject called as stress management for enhanced emotional intelligence. Thanks a lot. Good morning, Anbaragan sir. So, good morning, and I'm sure that this 1 hour where we are going to spend with each other, I'm sure that we are going to make the most out of each other, because I believe that more than being a trainer, I love to be a facilitator, because facilitation is a key skill or a key element which brings out the best in all the participants, not only from the participants, also from the person who is going to deliver the training program. So I always love to be a facilitator than a trainer. Hope that suits us all. And how many of you like attending these sort of seminars and webinars? So let me ask you this question. So we can use the chat box, or if unmuting is possible, you can unmute and answer. How many of you like to be a part of such forums? Because I love attending such training programs, and when I started my career, hope I'm audible to all, right? Am I audible? Yes. So Tamilarisi madam says that she is interested in attending programs. Okay, that's great. Okay, so I love vibrant participation, because I always say this. When I started my career, I was working for a company, a luxury car company. How many of you like this luxury cars? How many of you dream to own a luxury car? Because I love luxury cars. Two of my biggest passion are training and driving. I love driving. I love training. I love talking to people. So how many of you love driving here, or how many of you like luxury cars or cars with okay, Manjula Sri, Niti Madam says, and she likes Benz, BMW, Rolls Royce. No, at least the look of it, it gives you a different feeling. We buy it or not, that's a different story. But looking at these cars, you like Anbaragan sir likes BMW, it seems. That's a thriller, no? BMW, if you like sports cars and if you like the thrill of driving, BMW is the car for you. And I was working for one of the biggest brands when it comes to cars when I started my career. And at that point of time, I was into sales. Selling one car is not a joke. Okay, so whenever I see a brand new car, especially a luxury car, I would go close to that car and I'll just see or peep into the car to have a feeler of it. Who is driving it? Yaar and the vandi otranga? Who is the owner of it? Or what is the model and which year model is it? So just to know and have the feeler of all those things, I will go close to the car. I'll just peep into the car and I'll just come out. And one fine day, I saw a brand new Mercedes-Benz car, and this car was speeding in the Saidapet signal in Chennai. Okay, I was driving my Splendor, so I just wanted to go and have a close look. It's a brand new car, just a registered car. And seeing a brand new black color Mercedes-Benz on a Monday morning, was something like I was feeling so happy. No, because I'm going to start my week and I'm going to start my sales of my car brand, and all these things are going to happen. But before that, I'm seeing a brand new Mercedes Benz and have a closer call. Just wanted to have a closer look at it. When I went close to the car, I found something very, very interesting in that car. On the back side of the car, there was something which was written. And I had the shock of my life. Some 10, 12 years back, if you remember right, if you are a car fanatic, you will remember this. Mercedes had a principle. If you make any alteration to their cars, they will not take it for a free service. So immediately, I just wanted to understand who has the guts to invest 30, 35 lakhs on a car. And after that, making an alteration and doing a stickering to the car, who has the guts? So I definitely wanted to have a peep into the car. I started chasing the car. I went closer, as close as possible to the car, and read what was written on the car. On the back side, there was something which was written, which was wonderful. It was written, "Life is beautiful." And next to it, there was a picture of a small little baby sitting, smiling with a pink cheek, blue eye, a beautiful picture of a baby. And it said, "Life is beautiful." And it was a Monday morning. What else you want? Reading something like this made my day. But just besides that, there was something which was written. I could read it. The car sped away. I just chased it and I caught up with it in a signal and I went close. The first line read, "Life is beautiful," and the baby was smiling. And the same picture of the baby was there beneath it, where it was crying. And I just read the other line which said, "Life is beautiful, but terms and conditions apply." So, that's what it is all about. I felt, life is beautiful, but there are certain terms and conditions that apply. And when we know these terms and conditions, life is always going to be beautiful. And in this 1 hour or the time I have, I'll ensure that we'll see these terms and conditions. Okay, so whatever terms and conditions, as far as to make our life beautiful, to make our I won't call we can live a stress-free life. When people ask, is it possible to live a stress-free life? Stress is a part of our life, and especially 2020. So before we move on, let me ask you all this question. If I ask you to define 2020 in one word, how will you define? You can use the chat box or you can unmute and talk. If I request you to define 2020 in one word, how will you define it in one word?
Connecting people everywhere through online, sir.
Connecting people through online. So great. I think it has made our digital life a dream come true. Actually, for a lot of people, they never expected that that a digital world will take over so much. Actually, it has become beautiful. You don't require a place. All that you can do through knowing your inner self. Manjula Sri says, beautiful. Traveling, taking an inner journey. Okay. So anybody else who wants to define the year 2020 in one word? In a single word. Anybody else? Anything interesting? The year 2020 in one word. So I have two answers. One is connecting more stress. Okay. Anbaragan sir says more stress. Okay. And interestingly, I just went through a LinkedIn blog. In that, it was written that the most used 3 words in 2020, the most used 3 words in 2020, valuable time with beautiful Tamilarisi madam. Correct? Now, we had ample time to spend with our family. So the 3 most used words in 2020 are stress, depression, and anxiety. These were the 3 most used words in 2020, it seems. Stress, depression, and anxiety. Because stress, a lot of people never understand what is the exact meaning of this word stress. And I have seen a lot of people when something small happens, they use big words like Mukund, I am depressed. Why are you depressed? Because my son is always asking me something. My daughter is always asking me something. My wife is always asking me something, or my husband is always asking me something. My students are not listening to me. So they immediately say that I'm depressed. Depression is a very big word to be used. The same way, stress is a very big word, and stress is an integral part of a quality life. Let us make it very, very clear. Stress is not a negative word. Let's not use the word stress as a negative word at all. Learning new technologies, Surat Nayak, actually, that's very important. Actually, in this year, whatever enhancements, digital enhancements or new learning or Teams or Zoom or Google, what is that? There was a G Talk or whatever it is. We have got to learn new technologies. PowerPoint has become mandatory, especially when you are into this teaching fraternity. And you need to get updated, unless and otherwise. This 2020 was a period where we had an opportunity to enhance ourselves. So many things are there. But as I'll just come back to this word. Depression is a very big word. Anxiety is a very big word. Psychologically, we use these words very casually. I've seen young kids these days use this word stress. When I used to be a kid and all, I never have heard of this word called as stress at all. But these days, kids, they use, because of probably, I would say, technological outburst or exposure towards so many things, they use words like stress, depression. I have a 3.5-year-old son, and he has a playmate. And that boy is some 4.5 years old, some 5 years old. He the other day said, uncle, 2-3 days, it was the time when lockdown started. And he said, 3 days on a weekly again, stress. I was shocked. What, 3 days stress and 5 years old? And during 5 years and all, I never have heard of this word called as stress at all. I don't even know tension, stress, and all those stuff. But stress has become an integral part of quality life these days. If you want a quality life, some amount of healthy stress is required, and how to manage the unhealthy stress. So I don't want to get technical and all. I'm going to stay very, very simple. I'm going to stay very, very straightforward, so that you have any questions in between, any thing to discuss, please feel free to do that. Okay, stress. Let me ask this question. We have been talking about this word. I have been stressing on this word stress again and again and again. So can somebody tell me, I want meaning of two words, important words, two important words. We are all, I know you're all into engineering, and a very important word. I'm going to tell you one important word. What is the meaning of the what is that one thing to energy in life? Energy. What gives energy? I don't want a technical scientific answer. In general, minimum stress is required for blood circulation. Beautiful, Surat Nayak. Correct. No, even to blood for circulating, some amount of stress is required. Okay. So, how many of you like cricket? How many of you like cricket or any other sports? How many of you like some sports? You can raise your hand or say yes. Or what sports you love? What sports you like? Yes. Okay. Let me ask you, like cricket. Dr. Ranbaragan likes cricket. Okay. So I'll ask you a series of questions now. Okay. So let us say there is this tournament going on between India and Australia. Correct? India and Australia. And how many of you want India to win the Test series? Actually, Test is the real test for the cricket. I feel 2020 is there. One-day internationals are there, but Test is the real test of your endurance. That's where the real players come out, emerge, and okay, beautiful. So Manor Selvi madam again likes cricket. Let me ask you this question. So India versus Australia is playing, and first initially test openers for India. Let's assume Shikhar Dhawan and so Rohit Sharma are coming out to bat. Let's assume they are going to open the batting for India. When they both are coming into batting, when they are stepping into the midfield, what will be the stress which is going on in their mind, or what would be the thing which will be running in their mind? They are the openers. They are going to start the batting proceedings for India Test match. So what would be running in their mind? What will be running in their mind? Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan. They are coming out to bat, or any other batsman, Indian batsman.
At least to continue 50 overs, sir.
At least to play for some 15 to 50 overs without losing the first wicket. Okay, and good runs. Okay, great. And what would be Virat Kohli's mindset as a captain? He will be sitting there at the dressing room. What would be Virat Kohli's mindset now?
half day or full day to continue the match to think about the Virat Kohli
Okay,
in both
okay.
matches. In test match only.
Yeah, test match. Great, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What would be the thought process of the umpires who are standing over there? There is a leg umpire and there is a main umpire. So, what would be running in the mind of the leg umpire and the main umpires? The main umpire.
Umpires.
Anything that comes to your mind. Anything you feel like coming to your mind, please answer.
Think about it is a correct ball or no ball, it is out or any. I give the idea. So this is 4 or 6.
Yes.
So think about some ball only.
Great. Manjula Sri Madam is saying that something interesting is about to happen. Umpires are awaiting something interesting to happen. Okay. And what would be the mindset set of the audience? Now, audience will be, Indian audience will expect Indians to win and Australian audience will expect Australians to win. And what would be the thought process of the wicket keeper? He will be thinking that even if he is going to take 6 or 7 good catches, if he is going to miss one ball, he will be at the firing end. He will be at the receiving end. So he will be worried about that. And leave all these guys. One last question about the match. There is one guy who's selling popcorn and sodas and Coca-Colas and Pepsis. There is one guy who is going around the stadium and selling. What will be his thought process there? Good morning, Nandakumar sir. I think Nandakumar sir has joined, Dr. Nandakumar. So what would be the thought process of the person who is selling popcorns, or the snacks, maximum sales? He is least bothered whether Australia is going to win or India is going to win. He might not even know which are the two teams which are playing. He will be worried about making the maximum amount of sales in that particular opportunity. That's what it is. The same thing works with stress. The stress is not the same with every individual, and it does not have one proper fit for everyone. Okay, so Mahesh sir, you have something to say? You raised your hand. You have something to say? Mahesh sir. Okay, so we'll just move on. In the same way, stress does not have a single definition that fits everybody. Stress is situational and stress is individual. That is what we have got to understand. Stress is completely individual. What looks like a stress to me might look like something very, very ordinary to you. What looks like a stress to you might look very, very simple and ordinary to me. And so here is where we have got to understand, when it comes to handling our stress and when it comes to helping our students to understand what is stress, we need to, the first rule of stress management is very, very important: empathy. Feeling like others. And I need to empathize myself. A lot of times when people get into stress, because the least importance people give is to that person who's sitting on their chair. For example, I always give the final priority to me, and that's why I get into stress. If you have to come out of stress and if you have to manage stress, the most important thing is self-empathy and empathy towards others. The more we are going to get into this beautiful thing called as empathy, that's where we start realizing that stress is a part of life, but reacting to it or responding to it is completely under our hands. Okay, that's what we have got to understand. As I asked, energy. What gives energy? If you learn this one secret, stress will never disturb you, or depression is never going to disturb you, or anxiety is never going to disturb you. What gives energy? A human being to a human being, what is that one thing which gives energy? What is that one thing that gives energy to a human being? Any guess? I want a lot of energy, because as a facilitator, money, okay, yeah, money is one thing, definitely gives energy. Food, okay, food, money, then happiness, beautiful, okay. There are so many things. Hope, beautiful, Manjula Sri, positive thoughts, okay, great. I would say stress, the opposite of stress is powerful energy, and the powerful energy comes when you have a strong purpose in your life. And you don't require an alarm, you don't require a clock, or you don't require anything. Your circadian rhythm, your body automatically starts getting a lot of energy when you have a very strong purpose defined in your work. And it could be a work, it could be a family, it could be your anything. If you have a very strong purpose in your life, and when you have a very strong purpose in your career, that's what gives you a lot of energy. And during our school days, old school days, and I'm sure even during your engineering days and teaching days, we would have come across these two powerful energies: kinetic and potential energy. Correct? Kinetic and potential. I don't want to take a chance, I'm not a science student, but I'm just telling. So what is kinetic? What is potential energy? What is potential energy? Did I ask something wrong, or did I ask something indifferent? What is kinetic energy? Or what is potential energy? Okay, let me ask you this question. What is kinetic energy?
Active energy, sir.
Active energy and passive energy, correct? Energy in motion is kinetic energy. Energy which is not in motion is potential energy. So that's what we have got to first thing, even before we could see some steps into stress management, the first thumb rule of stress management is the active people who are more action oriented face lesser stress in their life. Most people who are active, because we have a lot of potential and we have a lot of we have so much of intensity inside, we have so many things to do, we have a very strong purpose, but when we don't take action towards those purpose, and when our potential energy is not converted into kinetic energy, stress forms. And people manage stress beautifully when they are always active, or active to the maximum portion of time. I've seen a lot of people, morning they get up, they go to a gym, after that they come back, they have time for their family. How to set strong purpose? Yeah, I'll come when people struggle for basic requirement, I'll just come to that. I know this question will definitely come. That's the reason I was talking about this potential and kinetic energy. A lot of people ask me this, Mukund, the basic structure. Now, I was about to talk about this in a later part. Since this question has come, I'll just talk about it initially. Okay, so the most important thing is get into action, plunge into, define a purpose. And that purpose, there is something called as 4 disciplines of execution. Have you heard of this theory called as 4 disciplines of execution? How many of you have heard of this theory, 4 disciplines of execution? Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds time. Can I give you all 30 seconds time? Can we do a small activity? How many of you are ready to do a small activity? If you say yes, we'll continue with that activity. Or I'll give you 1 minute time, not 30 seconds. I'll give you 1 minute time. If you have a piece of paper and pen, take a piece of paper and take a piece of pen. Okay, so in that, draw a table. Can we move the slides further, if you don't mind? Kavita, if you don't mind, can we move the slides further? Okay, stop. 1 minute. Yeah, we can stop here. No, we can stop here. Let me ask this question before we move on to that activity. Where do you feel the stress is exactly? Whether it is in the past or in the future or in the present? How many of you can answer me correctly? Whether in the past, whether the stress is in the past or in the future or in the present? Past, okay. Future, present, okay. Yeah. 99%, the stress is, the meaning of the word stress means expectation versus reality. Okay, when the expectation is not met, when the reality is something different from expectation, that's what is called as stress. Correct? Yeah, I expect something, but something else happens. I've been expecting a beautiful career, but something else happens. I've been expecting a set of students who are always listening to me, but that doesn't happen. That ends up as a stress. I expect my family members to be in one particular way, but they are not in that particular way. So I end up stressed. I expect one particular result, but I get a different result. That ends up as a stress. Okay. Can you change the past or the future? Absolutely not. Past is something that has happened. No, let's get into English. In English, no, past is something which has already happened. Future is something which is going to happen. But only thing which we have in our hand is present, and most of us get stressed thinking either about our past or thinking either about our future. And in the present, we live our life either from the past or either towards the future. Most of us avoid this because that's where the stress of struggling for the basics come. That's where the stress of what am I going to do next comes. That's where the struggle of I could have done better comes. That's where the stress of what has happened to me all these days comes. And that's where the stress of self-sympathizing comes. And that's where the stress of complaining about everybody comes. And in the present, the most important two words we have got to live by from today onwards. I know I've been talking about this kinetic energy. Potential. We have the potential. Unless and otherwise we don't have the potential, we wouldn't have become teachers. We wouldn't have become lecturers and professors and scholars. When we have this potential, how am I going to convert my potential energy into kinetic energy? What are the options available? What are the opportunities available? How am I going to do that to my students? And when my purpose is going to be stronger, that's what, how to define a purpose when I'm struggling for my basic. Okay, so what is your basic requirement? Ask yourself, if this is not working, what is my other plan? Am I going to get stuck, or am I going to work on something which is going to make more in my life? If I have to have a great future, if I'm going to drop my past, I've got to live a fulfilling present. Am I living my fulfilling present? Am I planning my present? First, a lot of people say that I plan my future. First, sit. If you want to overcome your stress, you've got to plan the purpose in the present. Okay, all these things have happened, 2020. Can we go on to the next slide? The next one? The next, how many of you have heard of this book called as 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? I'm usually not a very big fan of self-help books. I'm absolutely not great fan of self-help books and personality development books, but so Manjula Shri has read this book. But this book is full of techniques. I love techniques. People who teach me techniques are the ones I have made results in my life, because I love techniques rather than talking about some gyan. Okay, here, this book talks beautifully about this particular technique called as circle of concern, circle of influence, and circle of control. Okay, so the most important part is where we live our life in these 3 circles decides whether we are living a stressful life or we are planning a stress-free life and living a stress-free life. Okay, so first we have got to understand something. So there are certain things which I would love to share a personal experience or a personal story. I think it was 2014. 2014. We started this year 2014 because I started my own business at that point of time. That was my second business. I was very, very happy. 2014 dawned, and towards the February of 2014, I was planning to set up my own office. Everything was going beautiful until one particular day, one fine day, when my mom fell sick. My mother fell sick, and I had to take her to the hospital. And the moment I took her to the hospital, we were broken a news. We were told a news that my mother is suffering from stage 4 breast cancer. So a year which started so very beautifully, a year which started with thrill and amazing entrepreneurship journey, and so much of plans and so much of things to be done, and so many things happened, but everything was shattered in a split second. In a split second, everything was shattered, because she is the fulcrum of our family, and my mother. We have always seen her as a leader and a person who does everything for the home. And suddenly, doctors say that she is in the 4th stage of her cancer, and things that followed were absolutely painful. We had to take her for that radiation. We had to take her for scans after scans, and she had to undergo chemotherapy, and she had to be in a hospital, Adair Cancer Research Institute, for almost 32 days. Me and my father, we did not even know how to react. And that's how we actually started this year, right? Most of us would have started 2020 the thought that it is going to be a great year. like I started 2014. And 2020, we would have started thinking that this is going to be the greatest year in my life. And we would have planned so many things, but it has jolted even our basic requirements, as somebody rightly said. It has jolted at the very core of ours. It has jolted every positive energy we had in our thought and mind. It literally jolted. And most of us, there were people who were talking to me, Mukund, I'm not even sure whether I will cross 2020 or not. No, people started having the doubt, and stepping out has become a challenge, and living a normal life has become a challenge. That's a collective stress. A whole world, it's not Chennai, it's not Tamil Nadu, it's not India, it's the whole world undergoing this particular stress. And after one point in time, if you actually focus and think, the circle of concern, there is this circle of concern which came into play. This is something we have no control over. I cannot go back and blame that my mother would have been, could have been healthier if he had done this. My mother would have been healthier if he had done that. If I had to blame the past rather than focusing on the present, where I don't go for the treatment for my mother, I would have been cribbing and complaining rather than helping her come out of this disaster. The same thing is what we are undergoing in every part of our life. We keep cribbing about the past, which we can do anything about. We cannot do anything about it. It's nothing. The past is over. If I'm going to sit and crib about it, I'm spending my time on something called a circle of concern. And the future, if I want to think that, will the medicines work? Will my mother get cured? Will my mother be normal? Will my mother undergo a lot of pain? Thinking of the future, if I'm going to waste the precious present not giving her the required treatment, again, I'm going to lose her. Am I taking action in the present? So if I'm going to how should I define my purpose when I am struggling for my? Identify the reasons why you are struggling. There are two things you can do about circle of concern. Now, one, you can continue to complain about your present, or you can take actions, that kinetic energy, get into that kinetic energy, start taking actions, which is going to take you closer to that purpose, which is going to help you come out of your rut, which is going to help you to break these silos. So everybody has a pen in your hand. Everybody has a pen or a sketch pen or anything in your hand. Can we all hold it like this? Can we have everybody on the video, if you don't mind, so that for a minute, is it possible, Kavita, for bringing them onto the video?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you all come onto the video if you don't mind for a minute? Whoever it is possible, it would be great if we come collectively on the video for a minute. Yeah, can we hold? Okay. Whoever is on the video, or can we have this Windows view or where I can see everybody? Okay, so I would request you all to hold your pen like this. They are in the video, not in the video. Okay, how many of you are there on the video? Who have come on the video? Can you all hold our pen like this between our thumb and the index finger? I want some sort of a response so that I know that you are all doing it. Yes, are you all doing it? Yes, no, not at all, Mukund. Anything? Any answers?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes,
Can you all hold a pen like this?
Yes, sir.
Without bending our elbow, just hold on to it. Focus on the center point of the pen. Focus on the center point of the pen. Okay, so just follow my instruction. Now, just listen to me clearly and follow my instruction. Okay, so try very, very hard to drop your pen. Try hard to drop your pen. Try very, very, very hard to drop your pen. Try very hard to drop your pen. Try very, very, very hard to drop your pen. Okay, so relax for a minute, for a second rather. If you are having a pain on your shoulder and on your biceps, you have done it right. கரெக்டா பண்ணிருக்கீங்கன்னு அர்த்தம். உங்க பைசெப்ஸ்ல இல்ல ஷோல்டர்ல பெயின் இருந்தா you have done it right. Now stretch again. Leave your hand loose. Hold the pen lightly between your index finger and your thumb. Hold the pen very, very light. Focus on the center point. Keep smiling. And please follow my instruction. Please follow my instruction. The moment you listen to me, so now with a smile, drop your pen. Okay. So how many of you dropped the pen the second time? How many of you were listening to my instruction the first time and the second time? How many of you were listening to my instructions the first time and the second time? Anybody? What was the difference between the first instruction and the second instruction? Anyone? We still have only 20 minutes.
Release of weight.
Yeah?
Release of weight.
Okay, release of weight. So my instruction, if you had listened to me carefully, my instruction was the same. Both the times I was asking you to drop the pen, but the first time I was asking you to try, and we were all trying. The second time I asked you to drop the pen, where most of us, whoever did it would have dropped the pen. But there is a very thin line of difference between trying and doing. A lot of people get into this circle of stress first time, relaxing second time. Correct? No, all that we have to understand is stress and relax. Lot of people, lot of us, most of us get stuck in this circle of concern because we keep trying to do something. We keep trying, but the trying is not an action. You have to plunge into action and you have got to do it. If you want to break a rut, if you want to break free from a fear, if you want to break free from a stress, and action. First, until my mother was asked to take a scan, it was so scary. We did not know, what will be the result. And after that, we decided that we know what is the result. Doctors have told that it's the fourth stage. Now we don't have a choice apart from taking action. And immediately we plunged into action. We started taking the required scans, and we started the treatment. After the treatment started, we started doing a lot of research about what are the alternate therapies available for cancer, how we can reduce the pain for cancer. So many things we started doing after that. But immediately, the first thing you have got to do to overcome stress is plunge into action. There is a rule called as 5-minute rule. Okay, it's a very popular but a very challenging rule. Okay, and I believe in action. How many of you are ready to take this action? How many of you are ready to follow this 5-minute rule? After this session is over, how many of you tell me that I am ready, so that I'll just yes. Okay, Tamilarisi ma'am says she is ready, and anybody else who's ready? Okay, Manjula Srinidhi, yes. Then Kavita madam is ready. Kavita is ready. Then yes. What could be this 5-minute rule? It's very, very, very simple. Okay, I told you about this purpose, right? Every one of us have some sort of a purpose. Some people know. For me, I'll ask you this question: what is that one talent you picked up during the lockdown? Something new you learned? I learned cooking. I initially, whenever I make dosas, it will be like world map. Whenever I make a dosa, whenever I prepare a dosa, it will be like making PPTs. Vanitarane, beautiful. I still remember the first time when I made a dosa, it exactly came like South America's map. Okay, and I was so proud. I was able to make map and all through dosa dough. Then after that, I thought, how insulting it is. My wife, or whenever my mother or my mother-in-law cook, or make dosa, it will be perfectly in circle. Excel, learned Excel. But whenever I made a dosa, it always came out like amoeba, bacteria. The shape was, you cannot predict the shape at all. That's how I was making dosas. Now I can make perfect circular dosas. That's what is one talent I have picked up. And then I did somewhere around 5 certifications. So these were my achievements. Okay. So I saw somebody saying that I learned Excel. Somebody was learning PPT. Then what else you learned during this lockdown? What else you learned during this lockdown? Anything else? Anybody interesting? Anything. It could be small, big. I learned to play with my children. No, there is one faculty. Time management at work. Beautiful. Okay. That's very important. No, time management. At the end of the day, that's something very, very important. Time is one of the biggest factors which causes or contributes to stress. Okay. Then listening more and speaking less. Beautiful, Surat Naik. That's I think you are towards your glory. No, that's what I would say. Okay. Listening more and talking less is very,
Thank
very
you, thank you, sir. Thank you.
emotional intelligent person, emotionally beautiful. No, this actually 2020 has taught us a lot of good things, great things actually. Teaching my child. Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, awesome. So after all these things, now I would ask, see, we have learned, and now the most important thing is, did you learn through action or did you learn through reading? Which was more powerful, when you did or when you read? We read a lot of things. Action. That's what I'm saying. The easiest way to step out of stress is taking action. And this 5 minutes rule is nothing but decide a purpose in your life and take small steps. What is that small step? I decide my purpose towards my life is to touch more people's life through my talking, through my teachings, through my profession. This is what is my purpose. I want to bring in transformation in as many lives as possible. So if I decide this is going to be my purpose today, let it be any purpose in your life. Let it be your family. Let it be your finance. Let it be anything. No, take one particular thing and take an action. Do something which is relevant to it within the next 5 minutes of deciding what your purpose is. Every day, when this purpose, or throughout the day, you need not do it. How many of you use this Fitbit or Amazfit or this fitness watches? Or even in the mobile, you have this fitness apps, right? How many of you use this fitness app? How many of you use that? Have you tried this 10,000 steps a day, 5,000 steps a day, 6,000 steps a day? Yes or no? You don't use it? Okay, try using it. Okay, so it says, no, I have walked 10,000 steps. I am, no, Surat Naik is using. So when you are using it, it will say that you will walk 10,000 steps a day, or you have walked. Do you think we are going to continuously walk those 10,000 steps in a day? If you walk 10,000 steps a day, probably you will end up, if you are not in Chennai, you will end up in Chennai. If I am in Chennai, I might end up somewhere in Tiruchi or somewhere. Okay, so it's very important that we split it. Okay, we walk these 10,000 steps throughout the day. In the same way, your purpose, you need not keep thinking about your purpose throughout the day. What happens is, if you are going to do that, it ends up as a stress. But when you define a purpose, take 5 minutes. Once in a day, there will be a thought process which will come, and accumulate that every day. Spend some 5 minutes, 10 minutes here and there until you become completely oriented towards your purpose. Because when your purpose is strong, when your purpose is bigger, a stress becomes very, very small. A stress becomes too small when your purpose is defined, clear, and when you take continuous action towards purpose. Even if you are struggling today, even if you are struggling now with the basic requirements or whatever you want in your life, if you are going to ensure that you live a life of purpose, you will be out of this rut called as stress. And second is circle of influence. Circle of concern is something which I cannot do anything about. Lockdown, result of an international cricket match, result of an election, result of my students' attitude. I can help them understand, but I cannot go and sit behind them and change their attitude, which will end up causing me stress. And the attitude of the parents of my students. These are all circle of concern. Don't even waste your time in that circle. Move on to circle of influence. Making your students understand their future. Talking to them, counseling them, spending quality time with your family. It's called as the we circle, where I need to do so many things with other people around. So when I spend more time with those people who are important to me, this is where you have got to create the right network. What happened was, again, my mother was there in the hospital, and we were there in the hospital for 32 days. And we found two types of people coming and meeting us. One set of people who will come and hold my hand and say, Mukund, cancer is a killer disease. That's all. Keep your be ready for anything. All these negative, because they have experienced something. They are not bad people, but they used to come and tell me all those things which I don't want in those 32 days, because already I'm mentally disturbed and I'm emotionally drained. And at that point of time, I needed people who are emotionally intelligent. Here is where you have got to understand. Stress and emotional intelligence are siblings, brother and sisters. Okay, so when you are already stressed, you need people who will come and talk to you, who are emotionally intelligent, and who will talk to you the fact. There are opportunities, Mukund. There are alternate therapies. You will start up the therapy, and I will go and research. And you don't worry. You focus on your mother. I'll take care of other things. There are so many people who bring in some sort of the right energy to us when we need the most. Circle of influence. If you want to overcome stress, always build the right network. Be with that's where you form these groups and teams and all those stuff. Wherever you go, you will find negative people. But if there is a right balance of negative and positive people, after a point of time, ensure that you stay more with these positive people who push you towards the right direction, and help students do that. Probably you can put all the, now that's how you yourself will find all the good students will come, and all the students who have got to improve themselves, they will be in a group. All those students who are not interested in studies will be in a group. That's how the groups automatically form. But as an adult, it's our duty, it's very, very important that we form networks which are going to push us towards our purpose. Spend more time, more quality time with those two people. If already we are stuck financially, if we are going to form a group of people who are also stuck financially, we will be ending up talking only about financial scarcity, and none of us will talk about financial abundance. So form the right network. When I'm financially stuck, if I'm going to spend quality time with people who are financially successful, I will get a spark. I don't know where I'm going to get it, but I will definitely get a spark. And finally, circle of control. Spend maximum time on this particular thing. All those things I already possess. And all those things which I can do on my own. Learning. So I can learn on my own. Self-learning has become the key of this, or the need of the hour. How much I can spend on learning, how much I can spend on grooming myself. If I want to, for example, I need 10 lakhs, but my skills are only up to a lakh. How can I enhance myself to reach that 10 lakh? This is how I've got to work on. So am I clear with this circle of concern, influence, and control? Any questions here? Am I clear with this? Till now? Are we making sense till now?
So then what will be the difference between control and influence here in this example of lockdown?
Yeah, with the example of lockdown. Yeah, circle of control. Okay, circle of control is very, see, circle of, I'll just talk about circle of influence here. Okay, here, just sit down and write the top 10 challenges you are facing in your life. Okay, just after the session or whenever you find time, just write down top 10 challenges you are undergoing in your life right now. Write down, and now split it into two. One is the problems I can directly solve without anybody's help. Okay, for example, getting up in the morning, and you decide to be happy. Whether do you think it is in your control or it is in somebody else's control? I want to stay happy throughout the day. I want to be happy throughout the day. Is it my control or others' control?
Our control.
Our control. Okay. So you are driving a bike, and suddenly there is an auto wala or somebody who gives you a rapid cut, and suddenly you don't know, you are disturbed. Reacting to that is in your control or not in your control?
The attacking is not under our control.
But reacting is?
Yes, under our control.
Yes. We have to focus more on the reactions. Okay. So COVID is there. COVID is under circle of concern, which I can do nothing about. But controlling my emotions towards COVID is in my control. Correct? A lot of people do that. Like lockdown, my God, I'm not able to do anything. All this I accept. But what can you do that? Can you talk to the government and relax the lockdown? Or can you talk to that, can you talk to someone, and now Pfizer has come out, now so many vaccines are coming up. Can you talk to someone and make people bring you the vaccine immediately? Let me be the first to put the vaccine and let me be vaccinated. Can we do anything about it? These are things which are completely out of our control. But what we can control is our reactions towards those situations. First simple rule here is accept those things which you cannot change. Learn to accept those things which you cannot change. Mukund, somebody is always getting angry with me. I tried changing. Okay, you tried changing. Decide whether the relationship is more important or your dignity is more important. If you feel your dignity is more important, leave the relationship. If you feel the relationship is more important, it's okay to compromise on your dignity, make the relationship, and understand. Here is where the circle of influence comes. Okay, so control. And second, there are certain things I don't know, but I want to learn. I need somebody's help. I know I'm under stress. If I talk to someone, I'll feel better. The collaborative efforts I take along with somebody else is called a circle of influence. And all those things I can directly control, or the circle of control. Am I clear, or do you want me to explain all this? Am I clear, or you want me to explain this one more time?
Clear.
Yeah, okay. So our life is within these three circles. If I can control, there is no problem at all. And if I can influence and take somebody's help, I have no problem at all, no stress at all. And if I can do nothing about it, still there is no stress at all. Then what is the point of worrying about it? When I cannot do anything about it, what is the point of worrying about it? So never waste your time on the circle of concern. But it has been found out that most people's stress and depression falls under the third circle. And they worry about those things they cannot change, or they cannot control, or they cannot do anything about it. So that's where we have got to identify your stress, whether it falls under influence. If I take somebody's help, can you solve that? Take that control between learning and right learning. Beautiful. Okay, I'll just come to it. Okay, and finally, the circle of control. If I can automatically do something, for example, there is somebody who has been diagnosed diabetic. Okay, so by dieting, by proper exercising, by eating the right food, he or she can overcome diabetes. Now, whether this falls under circle of control or influence or concern, where does this fall? By proper diet, by proper exercising, by proper lifestyle, I can overcome diabetes. Okay, so in which circle does this fall? In which circle does this fall? Control, absolutely, in our control. Beautiful. Second, I am undergoing a financial crisis. There is a financial rut which is going on because of, it could be because of lockdown, or it could be because of anything. I am undergoing a financial crisis or a financial crunch. Okay, now I need my family members to understand that I cannot spend the way I have been spending. Okay, I cannot buy the things the way I have been buying. And I need everybody else's cooperation so that we can smoothly sail out of this particular issue. And once my financial agility comes back, or my financial strength comes back, we can start living the life which we used to live. So now which one is this? Circle of influence. Okay, so beautiful. And now, so WHO declares that COVID vaccines will not work. What can you do about it? Circle of concern. But a lot of people waste their time on this circle of helpless. Can you call up WHO and say that, how can you say that the vaccine will not work? Do you think we are fools around? Do you think it's going to work? They won't even respond. So we need to decide whether things are falling under my control, or in my influence, or in my concern. Okay, influence is very, very powerful because it is we. And we are in a fraternity where we are influencers, and we have got to influence our students or the future in the right way. So understand, stress is never in the present. Stress is either in the past or in the future. And so any stress or any problem falls either under control, or under influence, or under concern. So Surat, Raja, I think he asked a question. What is learning and what is the other thing you asked? The right learning, right? Learning and how many of you can tell me the right meaning of this word realistic? What do you mean by this word realistic? In SMART goals, they used to use this word realistic, right? Realistic. And the word or the meaning in what is the meaning of the word realistic? Can somebody tell that? Factual and natural sense. Yes, Vanita Rani. Correct. Exactly. Factual and natural. Okay, then. Anything else? Any other guess? See, yeah, practically. Great. So, right learning. Just because everybody, I know how people usually choose books these days. I have seen a lot of people choosing books because they go to Amazon and they see a bestseller. A lot of people are buying this book, so I will also buy this book. That doesn't work. Let a lot of people buy that book, but what book will suit my growth? What will be relevant to my career? What will be relevant to my future? If I buy that book, I'm more sensible and I'm more realistic. The same thing is with learning. Just because everybody are learning, just because it is popular, you need not learn it. But learn that thing which is going to help you as an individual. For example, I am a speaker and a trainer. I need to enhance my skills in psychology. I cannot go and enhance my skills in mathematics and come back and say that, no, I can help you just because my friend is doing mathematics. I cannot just like that learn mathematics. I'll tell you a simple story. Okay. So there is a bus which is going on the hairpin bend. Okay. Ooty hairpin bends. It's just traveling or somewhere in India in the hills. It is going on the hairpin bend. The driver is driving and there is the bus is full. All the seats are occupied and there is a old lady who's standing. The conductor of the bus immediately smiles at the lady and says that, please take my seat and you can sit here and come. And everybody in the bus starts appreciating the conductor. What a great job you have done. Such a humanitarian, a great human being. All these things, people are saying. Now, looking at all these things, the driver is watching everything in the rear view mirror. Now his stomach is burning. Now he feels that, how can the conductor take all the thing? I will also do the same. And the next stop, a old man comes and immediately the driver says, he is driving and suddenly he calls the old man and says, why don't you take my seat? Do you think that's going to work out? Do you think that's going to work out? Conductor gave the seat, and because of which, if the driver gives the seat, do you think it's going to work out? It's going to end up in a disaster. So learning and right learning, the basic understanding you've got to understand is that learning is there. Just because everybody are doing it, I'm also doing it. Ask yourself this question, is this learning going to help me in future? Is this learning make more relevance to whatever I am doing, whatever my purpose is? Am I learning something which is value adding to my purpose and my profession? That's what is right learning all about. Okay, so can we go to the next slide? I'll just take 5 more minutes and then close it. Is that fine? Are we all okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So I always feel that how to win the day. This is a beautiful book called as Miracle Morning by a person called as Hal Elrod. Okay, I would urge you to go back, buy this book and read this book. And can you go to the next slide and come back to this slide? If you don't. Next one. The next one. Yeah. So if you ask me to overcome stress, how should I find my purpose? Okay, so work on these 4 F's. After that, I'll talk to you about savers and then we will end for the day. There are 4 F's which you have got to work on. These are the 4 F's which possibly brings in stress to any individual. These are the 4 areas usually any individual gets into a stress. And if you get into stress in one particular area, somehow or the other, it causes stress in all the 4. This is what is emotional intelligence or emotional balance which you have got to bring in. Okay, so something disastrous happen. How you react to that particular situation is emotional intelligence. And if you balance this 4, your emotional intelligence is going to be intact and handling stress is going to be like a cakewalk. Okay, so the 4 areas which you are going to work on. The first one, I would say that the career you are into, you should have that particular fitness which will help you to have that career. No compromise on that. No, some people come and say, see, before the pandemic started, we used to stand for 8 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours when we do this team building activities, and maybe we go out and train and all. As trainers, as teachers, it's very, very essential that we work on our fitness. Somehow or the other, you take it from me for granted. Most of us, the first is on our fitness. How many of you say yes to this? Somehow or the other, the final priority which we give to ourselves is fitness. Correct? How many of you say yes to this? I say that. Yes, the number of T, we don't know. Yeah, Manjula Sri, yes, a lot of people accept to that, right? Most of us know, as teachers especially, somehow or the other, we literally compromise on this fitness. On one particular day, when a doctor or when somebody says that from tomorrow, if you don't go for a walk, you will get into a heart attack. And only then we get into the fitness regime at all. And my wife gifted me this watch, and she paid a huge amount to buy this watch, and she gifted me. Thinking that I will start my fitness regime, at least if whenever I look at this costly watch. And even if that is not going to work, I'm going to disappoint myself. See, whenever you compromise on your fitness, you're not compromising on you, but you're also compromising on your profession, you're compromising on your family, you're compromising on your own future. The first major reason for so many people's stress is fitness. See, even one person falling sick in your family causes stress to the whole family, right or not? Correct? And do you want to be the reason for the whole family's stress? So start working on your fitness. Never compromise. If you say that I don't have time for my fitness, that means that you don't have time for anything in your life. Fitness has to be uncompromised. Do something, but be fit. Okay, and our profession, like it or not, requires a lot of energy, and you need to be fit. And if you are not physically fit, you will not be mentally fit. You will not be emotionally fit. You will be stressful. You will live a life of stress. So fitness is the first regime. And second, invest time on your family. I think 2020 has been a great teacher when it comes to our family. How many of us would have understood that there are so many beautiful things around us to appreciate. There are beautiful things, simple things which are happening around us, which we never have bothered to look at. I have my first son is 3.5 years old, and my second son is 10 months old, a little boy. This guy stood up. If I was into complete profession, probably I wouldn't have seen him standing up. He's standing on his own. I'm enjoying. So many good things are around us. Our family is one beautiful thing, which after fitness, that one thing which we immediately compromise is our family. How many of you say yes? Knowingly or unknowingly? We don't give priority. If you ask me today, plan your day, prioritize your day, probably our family and fitness will be the last two. Correct? And that's where we fail, my friends. That's where we get into stress. That's where we get into anxiety. That's where we get into depression. First, fitness. Second, family. Spend time on these two. And third comes your finance. See, you have everything. You have everything. Your family and your fitness is at its peak, but you don't have money, you are going to struggle. The fitness is of no use. The family becomes jittery. Everybody, definitely to lubricate our lives, we need proper finance and finance management. I'm not saying that you are going to, you have got to become a millionaire or a billionaire or a trillionaire, but you need finances to support your family and to yourself and to live a dignified life. That's very, very important. And finally comes firm. Firm is your purpose, your organization. Okay, firm is your organization, your college, your institution. What is that you are going to do? And how is that you are going to manage your finance? Even one of these 4 F's fail, all the other 3 will take a hit. See, if a family is there, you have a lot of finances, you are in a good company, but your fitness is a failure. All the other 3 are going to go in a jeopardy. You have some finance now, you have fitness is good, your family is, but you always have stress in your firm, the other 3 are going to take a hit. You have fitness, you have finance, you are working in a good company, but your family is in a jeopardy, everything is going to take a hit. So define your purpose based on all these 4 categories, so that stress, let it be, let stress be, but you are not affected by that stress. These 4 purposes will keep you going, immaterial of whatever stress you have in your life. You will be emotionally intelligent when you balance all these. Okay, so last 2 minutes. Can we go to that saver slide? Excuse me, I'll just have some water. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you. The best way to define your purpose and the best way to overcome stress in your life is this. Hal Elrod, the author of this book, underwent a series of challenges in his life, and he just overcame it by doing this. I would also urge you, there are Savers forum in Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram and social medias. You have this Savers forum. Try to become a member and give your 100%. Probably it might change your life. This is one of the suggestions I'm giving. Savers is an acronym. The 6 things which are there in the Savers. First is stands for silence. Second is for affirmation. Third is visualization. Fourth is exercising. Fifth is reading. And finally, S is for scribing. So first one, silence. Okay. Start your day with 1 minute of dating with yourself. Start your day with a date with yourself. We have time for everyone in the world, but unfortunately, most of us never have time for ourselves. And that is the biggest reason for stress, loneliness, anxiety. When I can date with myself, when I'm happy with my company, I make a lot of difference in my own life. So sit in silence. If thought comes, Mukund, whenever I sit in silence, all unwanted thought comes, let it come. Mind is made to give a lot of noise, and you can continue, or if you want to be silent, be there in silence, practice silence 1 minute a day. Second are affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements. At least write down new 3 positive statements every day morning when you start your day. What are the 3 things you are going to complete? Right, you have already completed it, and put a signature at the end of it so that you look positive. I'm not saying that this is going to completely change your day or change your way the day is going to be, but you will have a positive approach, because most people fail or fall into stress because of the stories they tell to themselves. When they get up, when you say that, if you are going to tell a story saying that this is going to be a pathetic day in my life, if you are going to tell a story, whatever story you tell to your mind, the mind believes it. So tell it a positive story and start your day off fresh. Visualization. In NLP, there is a powerful exercise. Can we do a small activity? If you can turn on your cameras, you can turn on your cameras. It's a very powerful exercise in NLP. Visualizing. 1 minute. Okay. Visualizing. So now, if you choose to stand, you can stand, or what you can do is just just have your hands stretched like this, or have your finger like this. Have your fingers straight. Have your fingers straight like this, and turn towards the other side. The maximum, whatever is the maximum, turn towards your left hand side with your index finger pointing towards that side. Maximum. To the maximum level you can turn. Try doing it. To the left side. To the left side. Okay. So now, just close your eyes for a second. And now, don't do anything. Just visualize whatever I'm saying. Just visualize whatever I'm saying. Close your eyes. Think that your index finger is stretched. And see if you can go further than whatever you did now. Can you see yourself going beyond that? Visualize you are doing a 360-degree turn almost. Visualize that you are going beyond your capacity. Visualize. See yourself doing it. See yourself doing it.
இப்போ வந்து சார் என்கிட்ட கேட்டாரு, ஏன் நீ 10th இதெல்லாம் பர்சன்டேஜ் ரெடியா எல்லாரும் வந்து அவங்க மார்க்ஸ் வராங்க சார், நம்ம 90 ஸ்கோர் வந்தாங்க 90 வருது சார் அப்படினா.
Somebody else is talking. If you can mute, it will be helpful. Yeah, stretch your finger like this. Now, after visualizing, just turn towards your left and see if you can go beyond what you did the last time. Stretch pununga unga virala index finger, your hand, stretch your hand and turn towards your left and see if you can go beyond what you did the last time. Yes, how many of you are able to do that? How many of you are able to go beyond that? Visualizing. The most powerful key to success in life. Visualize your day in the morning. what you want to do, what you want to achieve, what is the result you want to have at the end of the day. Visualize. And fourth, as I said, never compromise fitness. Do some sort of exercise. Yoga, running, jogging, whatever it is, do something. And learning. Spend some time early in the morning for reading something which is relevant to your growth. And finally, write down whatever you want to achieve. Keep writing. All digital things are there, right? A mobile is there, tablet is there, laptop is there, but writing still rules. Have a notebook and a pen and write what you're going to do in that day. What is that you want to achieve in that day? So savers, use these savers, own your mornings so that you can own your day. Okay, so remember whatever we discussed today and form new habits. Let 2021 be a beautiful year, a stress-free year. Even if stress is there, let us handle it with a smile and learn. One last tip I'm going to say is people who smile during challenges are the ones who become very, very successful in their career and in their personal life. Keep smiling. 1975 or movie. How many of you have heard of this movie called as Evil Dead? How many of you have heard of this movie called as Evil Dead? Evil Dead. Have you heard of this movie? Yeah? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, great. This was one of the most horrific movies or most terrifying movie at that point of time. But we will laugh at the movie. If you are going to watch the movie now, it will be funny. But at that point of time, there was one challenge. If you watch the movie all alone, late night and second show, all alone in the theater, they were ready to give 10,000 rupees for all those people who were ready to watch it. But people were not able to watch it. They came running out of it. And they said the creatures in the movie were very, very scary. The name of the creatures in the movie was called as zombie. Have you heard of this term zombie? Yeah. And somehow or the other, in my personal life, I meet a lot of zombies. Even you would have met a lot of zombies in your personal life. You go and smile, they will never smile back. You go and say a good morning, they will never tell a good morning. When you go and ask them, how are you? They will always say, what life, man. Okay. So always complain. Let us never be. Let's make a promise to ourselves that we are not going to be zombies. We are going to be smiling and we are going to spread smiles wherever we can. And that is going to be one of the biggest purpose of our life. We are going to spread smile, spread harmony, and spread happiness. Let us be torchbearers of happiness. Stress and all are nothing, and we are going to emerge beautiful in the overcoming year 2021, and we are going to be. Thanks a lot. All the best. Any questions? And I leave the floor open. Anything to discuss, we are open for discussion. Thanks a lot, Kavita. Thanks a lot, Dr. Priya, for the opportunity. It was great interacting with you all. Thank you. Over to
So
you.
the next slide
Yes,
you
sir.
did not cover about
Thank you, sir.
art.
Thank you so much for Yeah, someone is trying to ask a question. Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Sir spoke about
Yes.
affirmations and the rest. He skipped one slide. I think we would like to know about those arts once again.
If you want to, because of time, I just slipped this.
Yeah.
Slide. If you have time, we can take 5 minutes for that.
Just to review ours.
Sure. Okay. So can we have the slide if you? I won't take more than 5
Can
minutes.
you,
So it's all
Vignesh,
about.
can you share the slide? Yes, sir.
So one important way of overcoming stress is forming new habits. Okay, overcoming old habits and forming new habits. And there are a lot of people struggle to form habits. I have seen a lot of people first thing is you have got to overcome the unwanted or a non-supportive habit and then get into, I think it's the previous slide, my friend.
Previous slide. Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's the one.
Hours.
Yeah, 3 hours. Okay. So, for example, I have this habit till probably I would say till September. I had this habit. That habit was like whenever I have my lunch, immediately after lunch, the first thing I will do or I have got to do is I need to eat a bowl full of sweets. I need to eat a bowl full of sweets. I'm absolutely, this was one thing which was getting onto my head, and it has started disturbing me, and people around me started saying that Mukund, of sweets after you will become diabetic and it will lead to a lot of this started disturbing me more and more and more, and I wanted to change that habit, and I wanted to bring in a new habit. what I did was, I want sweet. Okay, let me start eating healthier sweets. What I used to do was, next to my laptop, next to my workstation, I used to have a bowl of sweets like Kaju Katli, Milk Goa, whatever the best of the sweets I used to have. Immediately after lunch, even before I could turn on my laptop, I gobble that sweet. Okay, now what I started doing was slowly started having cut fruits in a bowl rather than having sweets. So the reminder, if you want to change a habit, if you want to overcome stress, if you want to handle that particular thing called as stress, first change the reminder. Look around you and find out all those things which are triggering you towards that stress, reminding you about those stress. Change everything. For example, if you want to get into the habit of walking, have a lot of posters and stickers and all those stuff wherever you find something to do with walking, and invest on a good watch, invest on a good shoe, invest on a good t-shirt or a jersey or something which will remind you. Change the trigger. First thing you have got to do is change the reminder. R number one. Third R is reward. Write down all those things which you will benefit out of changing this particular habit. If I change my sweet habit into fruits, now I'm going to have low calories, I'm going to eat something healthy, I'm going to avoid unnecessary junk food. All these rewards will be there. So now I have a clear trigger, I have a clear reward. When my reward and reminder are clear, automatically I get into a routine. Routine is the action. So start acting. I told you about the 5-minute rule. Start acting. When you define your reward, our brain secretes a beautiful chemical called as dopamine. Dopamine is the thing which helps you to get into a habit. Dopamine is the chemical which makes you to get into a habit. And when you are getting into a habit, this dopamine says that whenever it feels that it has achieved a reward, or whenever it feels that it has gotten a reward, it makes you to do it more and more and more. That's why we get into some people get into the habit of smoking. Whenever they smoke, dopamine secretes and it says that, okay, when you do this, I'm happy. And for some people, when they read, dopamine secretes and it says that whenever you read, I become happy. And for some people, when they exercise and work for that six-pack and keep themselves fit, dopamine secretes and says that I'm happy, do this more. So habits are formed when you clearly have your reminder, and when you're clear about the reward, and when you start doing your routine, the dopamine will take care of it and you will be out of stress, and habit will help you to stay out of stress. This is what it is. So I took only a few seconds to explain it, but I'm sure that you would have got the point. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. So have a reminder, a routine, and a reward. Yeah. Okay. Any questions you have, you can ask.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for sir.
Okay. There is a question which has come. I'm sorry. I think the question asked is what to do when the stress comes from a family
members.
Family member. So define whether it is going to be your circle of concern, circle of control, or circle of influence. It's in your circle of influence. Sometimes it is on the circle of concern also. No, you cannot do anything about it certain times. Define it and ensure if it is going to be constant, you have got to either, if you feel that your inner peace is more important, you have got to take a call based on that.
Okay, sir. So thank you for extending your time. So we have shared your number, sir. So if for any further question, they can text you.
Sure.
So thank you, sir. Actually, we all think stress is a very big word, something which is which makes our livelihood challenge. But your session has given answer. Stress is part and parcel. It is nothing, and there are a lot of ways to overcome. So it was a very lively session, and you gave a lot of inputs. So you have touched on different aspects. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And participants, if you have any questions, you can post it to sir. Due to time constraints, we are winding up because like a lot of them, or I guess, wish to ask questions. Okay. So thank you all. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, Mukund sir. I missed beginning of your session. I'll catch it up in YouTube. But the way you ended and the way you covered was really, it was brightful. Even today, Thank you with a smile. Yes, sir. Even, I was stressed. Oh, session has started. We have other program and so. But once I logged in and you said how to go at it, I became very cool. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So
Thank
we
you.
all will take it with a smile. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
So,
Nice meeting
yes.
you all.
So participants, we have a session today afternoon. It is at 3 o'clock. So we are going to discuss about what ways we can overcome the stress and stress coping techniques. So we'll meet by 3 o'clock. Thank you all.
Thank you.
You have inspired the participants very much, sir.
Thank you.
Circle of
pleasure.
influence, you are in your influence. Lot of yes, sir. Thank you with a
Thank you.
smile. Yes, great, great, sir. So
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
So see you all. I'm just dropping from the call. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Vignesh, we can wind up the meeting, Vignesh. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.